Hello, hello. On today's show, we're going to talk about Jurassic World, some more awesome San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, and a new segment, The Magic Moment. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space by Xcellar Comics. As usual, I'm your host, Kevin, and I have three guest hosts with me today, a couple regulars and a special guest. You want to say hey, Patrick?
Hey, everybody.
Hello. You want to say hey, Mike?
Hi, good to be here.
And then our special guest is none other than Tyler. You want to say what's up?
What's up?
What's up, Ty?
What's up? Good to see you.
Yep, great to be here.
Glad you could stop by. So I guess first thing we want to talk about is your setup for the Profits, right, Mike?
Yeah. Oh, I always forget there's no introduction for the Profits.
Oh man, are you trying to tell me I need to make an introduction for the Profits?
No.
Okay.
So I always say you're ready. I'm like, yeah, and then I delay waiting.
You're expecting for the intro to happen. Gotcha. Yeah.
Exactly. So here are 10 covers for open order comic books coming out this week, July 27th. The Xcellar Group and our families have selected our top 3 favorites. In order for you to win the Profit contest, you post a comment during this live stream of the 3 covers you think we selected as our favorites. The cutoff time for your submission will be announced at the beginning of the Pick 3 segment, and winners will receive their choice of one comic book listed in this top 10 list, and we ship it to you for free. We'll cover the postage. So head over to the Facebook page and have a closer look. Then come back over here to the show and message us your guess.
Awesome. All right. First things first, to cover our freebies, I'm just going to start with this because it does kind of have an intro. All right, awesome. Per usual, we got one more subscriber this week. So we're at 33. Once we get to 50, that's what that is referencing, the Scruffle Skull giveaway. We will give away movie tickets, codes to get your own favorite movie or show, a Funko Pop, and action figure, and I think that might be it. I'm not sure. I do believe that's it. Check our website to find out what that is. But it's a lot of stuff, and we're trying to get to 50 subs on YouTube. That's how then we will decide pick who the winner is based on whoever does any of those things at any point in time in between now and then basically gets an entry. And the Fun Fan Freebie phrase was not won last week again. Does anybody know what last week's was? Tyler, impress me. No?
First unmute.
No.
Patrick, you're always my champion of this. You got it?
Yeah, unfortunately, even though I was tuned in for the Whatnot show, I somehow missed that last word of the phrase.
So it was astronauts love stars.
Now they do. Mm-hmm.
My wife added that one, which was pretty cool. I liked it. And like I said, we're changing it every week. So the new first word of the Fun Fan Freebie phrase for this week is happily. Okay? And I also have,
Better not be happily ever after. Sorry.
It might be. It might be. Stay tuned. But I do have some changes with the Fun Fan Freebie. And I it was hard for me not to mention this during our pregame discussion, but the podcast is just so nearly dead that I have to, I'm moving towards Whatnot time investment. So I need, something's got to give somewhere. And I've decided that for the place of that to give is the podcast. Now, I don't want to not do the podcast, but basically all I'm going to do for the podcast is download the audio for the live stream and then post it as a podcast without having to do any editing or me adding any, the Fun Fan Freebie phrase in there and then the rules and all that extra stuff. That stuff takes some time. So I'm just going to, the podcast will still exist. Hopefully people will still listen to it. I do. When I'm driving or whatever, I listen to our podcast all the time, but it doesn't seem like too many other people are interested. So I'm taking my time that I invest there away and moving it towards a second show with Whatnot. So the second word of the Fun Fan Freebie phrase will be given during our new Whatnot show, which will be on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And then the third word of the Fun Fan Freebie phrase will be what it's been for a couple weeks now. You'll get that on the Friday Whatnot show, which is also moving to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They were 7, but it definitely seems like there's more interested people later in the evening. So I'm moving it to 9. So like I said, you get the second word from Wednesday night show and the third word from Friday night show. Everything else still applies that we've done in the past. And you can reference any rules that I usually add onto the podcasts. You can reference those rules on the website anytime you want to see what the rules are. And when I update the website this week, you'll be able to see those, updated rules. So that's changing. Then the random username shout out for the week is Ninja Turtles 3, which I actually like that one. He must have got that a long time ago to be able to have that.
Right.
But Ninja Turtles 3, if you are watching or listening, and if you let us know you're watching in the comment section during this show, we'll give you 25% off your next purchase from us on eBay at Xcellar_comics. And if you hear this or watch this at any time and let us know, which we'll get the notifications, even if you don't see this for 10 years, you don't see it except 10 years from now, we'll give you 10% off your next purchase from eBay at our store. To be entered in the random username shout out, you need to wait, maybe this is something else based on what we were talking at the beginning of the show. But basically the way we get the random usernames is by people that have purchased from us on the on eBay at Xcellar_comics.
Yeah.
Man, we might have to tweak that now based on what we talked about.
I think it's fine. It's just a discount. They're not getting anything.
Right.
Free.
Oh, that's true. You get the discount. Okay, good. Okay, thank God. Okay, thanks for saying that. All right, and Mike, your new show or your new segment.
Yep.
In case you didn't know, you've had some issues, so you don't exactly have one of those, but done basically, or have your notes or whatever. But we're going to tease next week's because I did get around to making an intro for this segment that I want to show. So basically, this intro will be just you setting us up for next week, right?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Give me. Hopefully, this makes everybody happy. Here we go. There you go.
Is my hair that gray? No, I think it's good. I like it.
No, it's not. Is that good though? Okay.
It's good, except that you kept teasing it, and I was hoping that instead of the Swiss cheese shirt, he would have like a green leotard with question marks all over it.
Oh, man. That would have been good. That would have been good.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah. I think that was pretty good. You know that I mentioned the last couple weeks how I'm going to have to change the music because of copyright claims on my YouTube videos because of these music or these choices of my music. So that's the toughest thing now. Whenever I pick now, I'm like, what am I going to add to this? What am I going to add to this? What do you think? Is that a good musical?
Yeah.
Of that for you, Mike? Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So what are you going to tease for us for next week?
Okay, so the tease is Brian Bolland, Bill Sienkiewicz, Fiona Staples, and Jay Lee. In case you didn't know, these 4 artists and a few more have done artwork for Magic the Gathering cards.
Okay.
So I have those lists and examples of the cards. Pictures of them. I don't actually have the cards.
I am very interested in that.
Yep.
Which brings us to why Tyler has joined us. Aside from he just loves our show and just loves being on it, we actually started using a segment wheel last week to add all of these different segments, to add one segment of all the different segments we talk about wanting to do all the time. And last week when you spun the wheel, it landed on a magic moment. What do you think's better, a magic moment or the magic moment?
I don't know.
This magic moment.
This? You throw in a curveball.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to do a segment now based off the wheel. Currently, it's at a magic moment. And Tyler is kind of our magic guru of the group, even though it's not as much as he used to be. Still, when it comes down to who's who, I think it's still easily said that he'd still know more than the rest of us. Me and Mike both have experience, but Patrick, you don't even really have any experience with playing, right?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm glad you set me up. Thanks. This is Magic the Gathering.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but can we do the wheel spinner for next week before my battery dies?
Yeah, we can do that. What I was thinking was we do what we spun last week, and then we'd be like, okay, next week's is going to be boom.
Okay.
But since you got battery issues, we can do it now. No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Take it
and
away.
next week I'll be more prepared, but my phone's been sitting here for over an hour
Gotcha.
waiting.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
I got the spare cam. We'll do this. Look at that spin.
Oh, man.
Oh, I like that. That sounds
Cover
cool.
combat.
That is awesome, actually. But that's going to be a long segment, right? I mean,
Well,
I guess we'll have to discuss how exactly that's going to work. But
yeah.
That might have to be a couple weeks, right? I mean,
Really?
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, because we're going to pick covers that we like to then vote on who beat what cover better than the other, and then we're going to kind of do it like a playoff bracket, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll sort it all out. And yeah, that's going to go a couple weeks, but it'll be short,
Yeah, that's a good point. So it'll be a short show, but run over multiple weeks. Gotcha. Okay, that's good. Or a short segment, but that'll be over multiple weeks. Okay, so so actually, since it'll be a short one each week, even though it'll be multiple weeks, do you want to spin another one now? We talked about that a little bit.
It's another short one.
Good. Yeah.
Let's just go with two short ones. That's good.
Okay. Yep.
So that'll be next week. And then so next week we'll still spin for another second short one.
Right.
But the cover combat yeah, once we work it out, who knows how long cover combat's going to last. I'm definitely excited for that.
Yep.
There's a Wolverine cover in general. I can't wait till it loses.
It will definitely be in there.
Yeah, it will.
I'm going to it'll go head to head with another one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. And it's going to lose.
Because we'll use the same voters as we use for the pick 3.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for that. So anyway, stay tuned for that. In the following weeks, we're going to have next week will be me, and cover combat. And then who knows how long the cover combat will go, but a few weeks for that. So, all right, let's move into what we rolled last week. For this week is Magic the Gathering. For anybody who doesn't know, which I can't imagine anybody would check this show out and wouldn't know, but hey, I've been surprised by other things, that's for sure. This is a tabletop card game, trading card game, and it's ridiculously awesomely fun. Tyler and I talk all the time about how it is arguably the best game ever invented, in our opinion. Right, Ty?
TCG wise, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, tabletop, not even TCG. Tabletop, in my opinion.
Mm.
Can you think of a tabletop that would give it a run for its money?
Not on the spot.
Okay. All right, stay tuned for Tabletop Gaming Combat coming up in subsequent weeks.
Yeah.
Add that to the wheel. No, I'm just kidding.
Code names.
Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, for repetitive play,
I'm kidding.
yeah, it's hard to beat Magic just because of the scenarios change.
The variants.
Never
They're-
play the same game, yeah.
Player.
The variants, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh wait, it's never the same game unless Max is playing, and then he just magic just crushes us with his, well, me anyway. He's very intimidating.
But Patrick, we definitely got to get you playing this. It might be a little dangerous for you because obviously we're similar in a lot of ways, and might get addicted, get hooked. Like Michael by Magic, I thought of this catchphrase regarding Magic too. Obviously my typical closing is appreciating great art is awesome. Well, with Magic, appreciating great art is awesome. And then reading a great story is fun. So why not do both? With Magic, it's appreciating great art is awesome. Spending time with friends and family is fun. So why not play Magic the Gathering and do both? That's what I was going to say. So anyway. All right. So what I figured we'd do is similar to when we had the Pokemon segment, when we had Michael on here, and just talk about the most recent stuff. And then I'm going to kind of set Ty up a little bit for what I asked him to kind of be prepped with. And just to mention this too, if you're like I said, if for whatever reason you're unfamiliar with Magic, tabletop trading card game, up to 4 players. You could technically do more, but typically it's up to 4 players. And I just wanted to kind of highlight here right away. There's also, 4 different ways. And these are just types that are even broke down even to more specific categories. Under these categories as to how many different ways there are to play Magic. And that's why one of the reasons we love it so much. But we're the biggest one we're fans of is Commander, which you can see on the bottom there. And Modern and Standard, those are kind of competitive, whether it be, really like obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, Magic has huge actual competitions, but then also, your local, and usually the comic book stores kind of double play, having comic books and toys and Magic the Gathering and stuff like that, so that's why I picked this as one of the topics, because I think people that are interested in our kinds of things are also kind of cross over to Magic a lot. But this is the current edition that's out on shelves right now, Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. Did you pick any of this up, Tyler?
I have not. I just saw it last week, and I thought about it, but I haven't gotten any yet.
I actually did pick up. I'm going to put me back up here real quick. Oh. I grabbed, this is a Commander box. Or Commander deck.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I saw.
Yeah. So I grabbed that. And I remember this being a thing back in the day, but they actually added 2 boosters back into this. They stopped that for a long time, didn't they, Ty?
They only ever did booster packs with the starter decks. They never did it with a Commander deck.
Oh, okay. That's where I'm confusing it. But now they've even got
a nice addition. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. But now these are like $50.
Ooh. Oh, of course they raised the price. They couldn't just.
You're right.
So it's basically just forcing you to buy packs if you get a deck.
So I grabbed one of these too.
Yeah.
Which this is just, it's booster pack that this would have 2 of these in here. And, so that's the latest edition that's out, and it's a pretty cool edition. It's kind of an addition to a version, which is just Dungeons and Dragons. And this is the addition or expansion to the Dungeons and Dragons edition, Battle for Baldur's Gate. That's what they do too. Like they'll put out a version, and then 2 sets later they'll add an expansion to that version. I mean, it's just Tyler said it well once to me recently. I think these guys are like printing money. I mean, they might as well be printing money with all this stuff they put out. And it's so tough. We got away from it because it's so tough, if not impossible, to kind of steer clear or not one at all if you're in it. You kind of want to try to keep up, so it really just sucks you dry. But that's why we moved away from it. Right, Ty?
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that was before this, and I wanted to read, I thought I could put this on the screen and then read what that says, but can anybody read that text on there?
Yeah.
What's it say?
Dungeons and Dragons storytelling meets Magic's most social format in a new crossover multiplayer experience for the ages. Gather your party and play with powerful D&D spells and characters in your next Commander. And that's it.
Nice. Okay. So, I mean, obviously they're doing the same thing here too. We are a comic book and collectibles show talking about Magic the Gathering. They're Magic the Gathering trying to entice Dungeons and Dragons people in, which it works, right? So then here's the one prior to that. So that one came out in June. And here's the one prior to that came out in April. Want to read that, Ty?
The streets of New Capenna offer the jackpot of a lifetime. If you go morally bankrupt. On this all-new plane, 5 crime families control the Halo-powered city. With family-specific mechanics, anything is possible.
Yeah, so in this one, they're crossing over with like classic gangster kind of crime lord kind of theme on this one. I think you were digging this one a little bit, Mike, right?
Yeah, that one's, when Ty explained that one to me, it sounded pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think I may have grabbed a couple boosters. I didn't open them yet. I have a stack of boosters I just randomly buy like My Hero Academia boosters and
Yeah.
Magic boosters, and I just buy them and set them aside.
Yeah, I do that same thing too. I'm gonna just do a whatnot show where I just open booster. You know, someone can buy the pack and I'll open it. You know how they have shows like
Yeah.
that. Those are pretty fun. But anyway, I thought this one was okay. It wasn't too much too interesting to me. But I did get there's this Rhino crime boss that I got the commander deck for because he looked cool. But it was a rhinoceros that was a crime lord. It's great. I can't remember his name right now. And then I won't go too far back, but this is the one prior to that. Came out in February. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. This one's a little bit too neon-y for my taste as well. You want to read that one real quick, Ty? This last one.
Yeah, Magic goes cyberpunk with its first sci-fi set. Welcome back to Kamigawa. It's 1,200 years later, and the plane's organic magic evolved with the technology to create a bright future where anything is possible.
Yeah, I liked the neon aspect of this. I thought the artwork was cool and it was very flashy. It was a lot different, from previous Magic, where stuff was more dark.
Yeah, definitely not judging. I can see how people appreciate it. It just wasn't my thing. Yeah.
Kamigawa was like a samurai era set, and then they're just making it future-y in this one.
Gotcha. And the biggest reason I went these past three sets, is to also highlight that this is another reason why Magic is so expensive if you want to play competitively. Because what is it? Is it
every other month? Yeah.
Well, not only how often they come out, but also if you want to be competitive, you can only use cards is it standard time? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, standard is the
last three.
It evolves. So I think it's like they have a 1.5 year time frame kind of where it can be from the last 4 sets when they restart the standard year, and then the next 3 sets are added to it. So there'll be 7 or 8 sets by the end of the standard season per se. And then when you start the new one, the last 3 or 4 sets are taken off, and then you can only use the new 4, and then it keeps going.
Yeah. So to be competitive with you have to keep buying the new stuff. You can't even just have old stuff and keep playing with that. They keep making you get the new stuff to play competitively. I mean, I can have a deck from 20 years ago that I can play with y'all when you come over, but if you want to play competitively, you have to keep up with that too as well. So
well, they have a lot of just like standard. There's other ones like modern is kind of like how the comic books work when you time frame them. In a modern format, you can use every set from like 2002 and on, and then Legacy is just every card. So
Legacy is for all cards, which usually gets more expensive because then in that format you can use all the cards. So basically, they make the sickest decks ever because they have all the ridiculous cards that do ridiculous things with each other that are all super expensive, like hundreds of dollars per card, that these guys will have like $10,000 decks or something like that and be playing with them and stuff. So, yeah, it's even crazier. And then speaking of playing, I think I got this one here. No. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Okay. This is what just came out this month. Now, this is not a new set, but then they'll put out these double master sets why don't you explain that for us, Ty?
Well, just like in the name, they're all called master sets, so they'll create cards. The set is basically designed for the modern format, where you can use, where it's like has those longer span of sets that you can play with, and they're a lot more expensive because they print way more powerful cards in this set, and they'll reprint older powerful cards as well.
Yeah, so if they reprint an old card, then it's now usable in the current
meta.
Yeah.
But master sets are designed mostly for the modern format.
And then don't these have like multiple like foil and multiple rares in them and stuff as well?
Yeah, that's the shtick with double masters, because you'll get 2 rares in every pack.
Which before you only get 1.
Right.
Right,
With a
yeah.
chance of a second, but now you're guaranteed to every pack.
Yeah. So that's the newest thing that's out. And then I showed these already too. This is going to be the next thing that's coming out. Dominaria United. And I actually got the date, or it's coming out there covered by my banner. Oh, there it is, September. And then just to go one past that, then this one's coming out in October, and this is crosses over with the Warhammer crowd, which is pretty sick. I think that would be awesome. That'd be something that I'd be wanting to grab if I was still into Magic, and I'll probably grab it anyway, even though I'm not into Magic really anymore. But those look pretty sick. And I've seen teaser for Lord of the Rings crossover with Magic next spring, so again, I mean, it's just so much coming out all the time.
They just announced a Fortnite Secret Lair.
Oh, jeez. I want you to explain Secret Layers to us.
Secret layers annoy me because I want them, but they're too expensive for me to. I mean, it's just more money than I can spend.
They're just limited time sets. They target the FOMO in all of us. So they'll do a special edition set where they'll either take old cards or make entirely new ones and sell it in usually a 5 or 6 card set. And they're usually like full art cards or foil or something special about them, the new take on a card, and then they'll only let you buy it for like 48 hours, and then it'll never be released again.
What do those run, like $25 or $30?
Depends entirely. They've run from $30 to $100, and they'll do bundles. They'll release
per card, right? Yeah.
No, per box.
Per box.
No,
But
like the $30 is for one card, though, isn't it?
No, not.
What's in a box? Is there only like 4 cards in a box then or something?
It all varies too in what they decide. A box could run from 3 cards to 8 cards, or the box could be 30 to 100 depending on whatever they're releasing.
Oh, I
didn't.
They
usually release. They'll do like summer sets where they'll have 8 different secret layers, and then you can just pick and choose and buy one of them or buy all 8 of them in a bundle.
And then correct me if I'm wrong. The value is usually there, though, right? I mean, you've bought a couple just because you wanted a couple of them, but then you can sell the rest for more than you bought it for anyway. You've done that a couple times, right?
Yeah, just because of their limited print run. If you don't buy it when it comes out, I'd say, in my experience, when I was working with them for the first few, maybe like 6 months when they first came out, I always got money back in all of them.
It's crazy, right, Pat?
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking, I wish there was something else I could spend my money on.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Let's not get Magic. Let's just keep getting comics.
I've seen people playing Magic like at the comic shops, and I think my brother-in-law they were into it for a little bit, but I've never actually sat down and played it, or I think I would actually just like to watch somebody play it that knows what they're doing.
Well, I still have 15 prepared decks. So if you ever have an itch to play, I can. Tyler's the same way. Actually, Mike's the same way too. I know you still got like probably 4 or 5 decks, right, Mike?
Yeah. And then, I don't know about Ty. He got rid of a lot, I think, but we have thousands of other cards that we can make decks out of.
Yeah.
I could play at any point too. Actually, my Magic boxes are all right here.
Right there.
So you're set, Pat, if you ever do actually just want to play, which it would be fun. I guarantee the 4 of us right here sitting at a table playing Magic, you would have a blast, even if you never played again in your life. And it's a simple, as far as the game is concerned, it's very complex. But the just to sit down and play, it's a simple kind of standard rules. It's just Ty and Max, and
the core of the game is easy.
Yeah. It's just the complexity of the options of what you can do get very, very, difficult. But just sitting down and playing, we could teach you how to play in 10 minutes, and you could go with it. You'll just lose really bad. That's all.
Yeah. Well, Ty and Max they're into it a lot, and they can build decks with a lot of synergy throughout the deck. where one card or like 5 or 6 cards all work off of each other so well. To sit there and
Can't do
watch
it.
them make their decks work, and I'm over here just luck of the draw playing.
Yeah.
It's something else.
And that's what I love about Magic is it is just everything you just described, Mike. But then also too, there's a luck factor for no matter how good you build your deck, no matter how good of a player you are, you could still pull all the cards you can't do anything with and lose. So it makes it very interesting that way too. And you can. I thought I actually had a graphic. I don't have it here now though. But you can play Magic obviously with paper cards on a table is the funnest way in my opinion. But you can play Magic Arena, which is on the PC, and you can play Magic Arena on mobile, on your phone, which is the same exact game that you'd play on the table. It's just obviously all computer, digital generated, stuff, and you don't actually own anything in those, but you could still spend plenty of money on those as well, to get the packs and open them and buy stuff and all that,
Yeah, because you can buy packs on there and you can open packs and earn more cards and stuff.
Which we've gotten into that for a minute, quite a while too. Then we moved away from that again because there's other stuff we want to get. So
I think you had talked. We kind of got out of playing a lot because, Ty moved away from here, and then Max is in the Marine Corps, so it's it's hard.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, hard to get a bunch of people together to play in person, which is the funnest way to play. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's kind of what we did. The 4 of us played.
Yep. So. Well, we don't have a 4th for Christmas this year. Hey, Pat, what are you doing for Christmas?
Yeah.
We usually have a Christmas. We call it our Christmas brawl, and it would be for a while. It was Constance's husband, and now she's no longer with him. And then it was after Tyler got out of the Marine Corps. Then it became all of us with Max and Ty. Now Max is in the Marine Corps. He's away, so. We need to fill in. But anyway, so I think that's all I've got to say about Magic. It's a great game. And like I said, if we come up with a Magic moment once or twice a year, I think it'd be a good thing. People that might be interested to know what the latest stuff that's coming out if they don't seek these things out on their own. But it's a lot of fun. And and Patrick, if with Valor being into Pokemon, the typical evolution is, when he gets to be teenager and older, if he still wants to collect, he's going to get right into Magic. You're going to get suckered into that then. So Let us know. We'll be ready to help you with that. So. Did you have anything else you want to say about it, Tyler?
No.
All right, cool. Oh, no. I did set you up.
What?
Keywords. Did you do research on that?
Yeah, I've got a few here.
What are the new keywords? So keywords are on cards, like flying is a keyword, and basically if a card has flying, only other cards that have flying or cards that have reach, which is another keyword, can defend against it. Right, Ty?
Right.
So that's just an example of keywords, and with every expansion, they typically come out with a couple new keywords, right?
Yeah, usually.
What are the new keywords this one?
With Commander Legends, we got the initiative.
What does that do?
So it's kind of like an enter the battlefield effect, but it happens during every upkeep. So whenever the upkeep hits, if you have a card that has initiative on it, it'll do.
It's like a perpetual ETB, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's it called again?
The initiative.
Wow. Okay. That seems OP.
They still have dungeons in here. And then there's backgrounds.
Backgrounds.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's kind of your commander can choose a background, so when you play them, it gets a secondary effect.
Huh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's we'll move on from
It's
that.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's another crazy thing about Magic is they keep adding these keywords that, and what'll happen is then they'll have to start banning cards from the past because they'll create a new keyword the description will make something from 6 sets ago be OP that they didn't consider when they made this new thing happen. So they'll have to ban that old card from competitive play because it becomes just ridiculous with this combination. Did I say that well, Tyler? You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
So even crazier. So, okay. All right. So the consensus is Magic is nuts. So if you want to play, you want to get nuts, you play Magic. But we'll close that out for until the wheel refreshes. So, all right. So then we'll move into the first newly decided regular consistent segment, right?
Right.
All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to do my best to make this the shortest, quickest that this has ever been. Okay. And I definitely want to get some feedback on a couple things that I brought that we've actually mentioned in the group. But I just want to mention this. I finished Tales from the Loop, which I talked about last week. And basically the review I gave it last week played out through the entire season. Man, it is slow. It is so slow. Even the final episode, which was probably the most interesting episode to me, because it kind of wrapped a few things together at once. Man, it was still so slow. Like I said, they'll spend 15, 20 minutes, like I joked in this picture, of them walking up a street to get to where they're going while they talk about things that have nothing to do with the episode. But overall, it's not bad. And I didn't realize until this was over, too. But Jodie Foster directed these, which she actually directed another kind of a short story show from a while back too that I liked. It seems like she might be a sci-fi fan directing sci-fi shows and stuff. But this is still good, still very slow though, so I don't give it a big recommend. And then I finished Stranger Things. Ty, did you watch all Stranger Things?
Yeah, I watched it all last night.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, I didn't.
No, he's not going to watch Stranger Things.
Oh, why?
I watched like 4 episodes of the first season probably a year ago.
Oh, and you couldn't get into it. That's right.
Didn't get into it, and yeah.
What's your status on Stranger Things, Pat?
We watched 4 and 5 last night. Getting there.
I think there's 8, right?
I think there were 8.
Wasn't there 8 and then 9, 10 or something?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
So I didn't really want to say anything that's really a big spoiler, but
Right.
I do have this to say, and it's similar to Tales from the Loop. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if you might consider this a spoiler, Pat. Do you want to check out for a second?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
What can I do? I'll just mute.
What do you? Okay, yeah. Okay. So, Mike.
Yeah.
I feel like they really did. I'm going to call this. They Lord of the Rings me at the end of this. Like Return of the King.
Right.
And this is my reference. Is a great movie, but man, I felt like the last half hour could have been done in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. It seemed like there were so many. Okay, here's the end. No. Okay, here's an end. Okay.
Exactly. And I told you how I felt about this prior to the final episode. It's spectacular. I love it. I think it's by far the second best season at the very least, but possibly, definitely competes for the best season with the first season, which the only reason I give the first season it's as the pinnacle is because it was totally original.
Yes.
But man, yeah, the last, like you said, this was like a movie long, and the last half hour, it was just reunions and feel good moments and stuff. It just drug on for me.
Yeah.
Did you get that same feel?
A little bit, not a whole lot. Now, I mean, now that you're bringing it up, it kind of highlights it for me. But I was enjoying it so much, it probably could have gone another 15 minutes, and it wouldn't have mattered to me.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, I'm sure other people listening, and the only other complaint I have is this is basically, they should have called this season 4 part 1, because this didn't actually come to any conclusion. They totally set us up for season 5 with what's his name still being alive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just gonna. You'd imagine. I mean, obviously, tell me your perspective. But the way I envision it, it seems like season 5 is just going to be them fighting Vecna again, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you see how, do you agree it could have been season 4 part 1, like they broke up the Hunger Games, or whatever.
Yeah, I see that, but there's such a real world time gap between when this finished and when the next one starts. So that's why.
Oh, how do you know that?
No, I mean real world, like our world. We're not going to see
part. For another year. Oh, yeah,
another year.
Yeah. Okay.
So at that point, if they were to call season 4 point 2, it's just the real world time gap is too great.
I think that's what they did with the Hunger Games, isn't it? And Twilight as well. They broke up the last.
They called them part 1 and part 2. Even the Harry Potter, I guess they did part 1.
Yeah, Harry Potter did the same thing too. Yeah, and they were a year apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and say it. I'm right. Go ahead and say it.
Well, you're not wrong. That's another way to put it.
But anyway, overall, I still agree. It was really good. It's just those couple little tidbitty nitpicky complaints I got. So anyway.
Yeah, and then when I shared that Bill Sienkiewicz drawing of Eddie, and then I completely forgot that you guys hadn't caught up. I was unaware that Tyler wasn't interested in the show.
Oh, yeah, that's why Tyler was.
Yeah. Oh, no, man, I just ruined it, because that was such a great scene that I'm like, I think I ruined it.
Well, I didn't even think about it being Eddie Van Halen until Tyler mentioned that, so he thought it wasn't. It totally could be Eddie Van Halen, too. Yeah.
Right.
That picture could cover either of those characters, or the one real man and the character, either one. Yeah. All right.
I didn't know if you actually knew about Stranger Things. Or we're
me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been watching it. Yeah.
Because we've never talked about it back and forth to each other.
Yeah, I watch a lot every week. You should check this show out. I cover it all. There's actually a segment called What Kevin Watched. You could just watch that.
I'm getting more and more convinced to try it again, because it's all I see and hear about all freaking day if I open any sort of social media. But I'm trying to finish Daredevil. I'm trying to get to Punisher. I mean, there's still so much.
All right, let's get Patrick back in here. All right, Patrick, you back?
I'm back.
I was wondering how are we gonna cue him in that he can come back in.
Well, it's kind of like you did when you checked out. Just when the next picture goes up, which Tyler just mentioned something at the end of that there, Patrick, that I wanted you to be here for us to comment on. Did you all see the latest She-Hulk trailer?
Yes.
No, I didn't know. I was not aware.
Did you see it, Ty?
No, because I don't watch trailers.
Oh, man. Now I can't talk about it. Damn it.
I mean, you can talk about a trailer.
Yeah.
Well, there's an exciting moment in the trailer based on something you just mentioned.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I don't watch trailers. I don't want to because trailers spoil an unnecessary amount of things.
Yeah, they do.
All right, let me just say this, Patrick. How about what happened at the end of it? That was pretty cool, right?
It was.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Can't wait to watch it now.
Well, it's kind of, given the announcements from San Diego Comic-Con, it's not that much of a stretch. It's not. I mean, they've announced something
that you should have known. Well, there was. Is that what you mean? Is that you could have known what they showed anyway, basically?
Well, that there's definite plans for somebody.
Yeah, but the key thing that I thought was super cool. Well, I'm a little bit I'm cautiously optimistic. I thought it was super cool, but we'll see. Was the coloring that was
Yeah.
what was right?
Yeah.
Well,
So anyway,
I have to defend myself because I usually count on New York Mike to post trailers because that was his thing.
that is
If there's a
true.
trailer, I can count on him to share it to our page. So
Yeah, he
I'm not-
pops in and pops out. He's not really consistent. It seems like he's going to be consistent, and then he'll disappear again for 6 months.
yeah, of all the times for him to be inconsistent when there's a new She-Hulk trailer.
Yeah,
Well, there was a lot of stuff popping this week.
yeah, with all the San Diego
Yeah,
Comic Con.
San
Yeah.
Diego. So all the more reason for him to be on top of his game.
Well, I guess we'll talk about that next week. The She-Hulk trailer, the Shazam trailer. Did you see that, Pat?
Yes, I did.
And then there was one more.
Wakanda Forever.
Oh yeah, Wakanda Forever. Yeah, yeah.
I just saw that was out today. I didn't see it.
Which I don't know about that Shazam. We'll talk about that. But the other two looked great. Looked pretty good. Yeah, yeah, I liked them. So anyway, okay. Now to the next thing I watched. In typical movie you never heard of fashion, Zone 414. Is anybody familiar with this?
No.
No. Not at
Okay.
all.
This has Guy Pearce, and there's some other big actor in here we know. But anyway, this is another Amazon movie that was recommended to me based on all the other craziness I watch. I like Guy Pearce. This movie, I can explain this with two other movies combined will make this movie, and they are Escape from New York and Blade Runner. This is literally, like I said, adding those two movies together, you get this movie. He is like an old has-been cop. This takes place in the future when robots are like just totally, really perfect, humanoid looking, they just look like people. And basically there's a part of the country that this one guy owns all of them. I can't remember the name of the part of the country, but that doesn't really matter. And only rich people can go there. And since they're robots, of course, they can do whatever craziness they want with these without any kind of, repercussions or, suffer any consequences. And the creator of this land of robots has a daughter that she's got herself mixed up with some bad people that are in Zone 4. No, that I said I can't remember the name of this area. It's Zone 414. The name of this area is Zone 414. But his daughter gets herself mixed up with some bad people that are in Zone 414. So he hires Guy Pearce to go rescue her. And, of course, the adventure ensues, And like I said, it's very Escape from New York-y. I think that's exactly what happened to Escape from New York, right? It was the president, and he had to go get the president's daughter out of the part of New York that was basically just a prison colony at this point.
I thought he was getting the president out.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was Escape from L.A. that he was getting the daughter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I never watched Escape from L.A.
It's pretty good in its way, Key.
I remember one scene. I think he was riding this big tidal wave, and I was like,
Yeah.
No, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, he was right at the time. All right, so then to get to more topical, I got out to see this weekend.
Nice.
Did anybody see Jurassic World Dominion?
No.
Not yet, but we really want to see it.
Tyler? You don't really get to the movies either, do you, Ty?
No, and I've obviously watched all the original Jurassic Parks, but none of the new ones have intrigued me enough to go watch it.
All right, well, first thing I have to say about this, does anybody really care about me saying too much or anything?
No, I know I'm going to enjoy it no matter what you say.
Okay.
You can tell me what happens from beginning to end.
Okay, we don't have that much time. But first of all, I would definitely recommend you see the first two subsequent later Jurassic Parks. What are they, just Jurassic
Jurassic World.
World, and then what's the second one? Jurassic World I forget the subtext or whatever. Yeah. But both of those Jurassic Worlds before you see this one, to really enjoy this one. Now, this was good. I give it a solid 8, 8.5. But I feel like without some of the context from the other Jurassic Worlds, it's not good enough standalone to really be able to appreciate all that. And then also to boot, you really have to have a history with Jurassic Park. But as far as having a history with Jurassic Park, all you really need is the first one. You don't need there was a trilogy for the first Jurassic Park as well. But all you need is the first Jurassic Park, and then Jurassic World Part 1, Jurassic World Part 2, and then you're set up for how you'll be able to enjoy this thoroughly and in its entirety for this one. Everybody from the original Jurassic Park is in this. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, it's in the poster.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm right now, but did you guys know that before today? Before right now? Okay.
In the trailer.
Yeah.
But Ty doesn't watch trailers.
Right. Did you know that, Tyler, since you don't watch trailers?
No.
Yeah, well, now you know. There you go. Jeff Goldblum, and then the other two. I can't remember their names right now. And I will say they look great for their age. Man, they held up nicely, in my opinion, and they pretty much acted the characters pretty much spot on to the original Jurassic Parks. And this plays a lot of scenes that almost are intentionally kind of recreated from original Jurassic Park in Jurassic World. It's pretty cool. And just to give you in general how this one's play out, you may have figured it out from the trailers, but now that kind of dinosaurs are a part of modern day now, you got all kinds of problems. You got poachers trying to get them. You got some people trying to keep them as pets, and people trying to sell, dinosaur eggs and dinosaurs on the black market. Just kind of all kinds of modern problems with what would be if dinosaurs actually existed. And the problem with this one specifically that all of the awesome cast of characters we're familiar with are doing in this movie is there's this one guy that has a sanctuary where he tries to get as many dinosaurs as he can to this sanctuary, but ends up he's not doing, good things with them, meaning, not, his morality is in question as far as his intentions of what he's doing with these animals.
Right.
So of course, all of our friends of all the different movies go in there to originally kind of naively, again, help and be good stewards to dinosaurs, but it falls apart, as you can imagine. But yeah, me and Jesse like this a lot. Jesse cried like 3 or 4 times, and we both really appreciated all of the throwback nods in this movie a lot. So
We're good.
Like I said, 8, 8.5. Definitely recommend checking that one out. And I think it's just about out of theaters too. There was only 4 showings on Saturday. We had to, I had to actually choose between Maverick and this. I want to go see Maverick next week, but they're both on their way out. Doesn't seem like there's many showings left,
Yeah.
I'm going to get caught up here, though, to be able to see movies when they first come out first weekend here soon, though. I'm getting the AMC pass where you can see 3 movies a week for whatever, all that stuff, So that's my plan. And then I just want to talk about a couple trailers. First thing is Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I think this was another trailer they announced at San Diego Comic-Con too, right, Pat? Did you see this one?
I did not see this one.
This has Chris Pine as the main character. And
I'm automatically interested.
Yeah. And, I've been waiting, and I'm sure lots of people have. I'm not a huge it's so funny. I don't consider myself a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan, while I'll call myself a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan all the time. And what I mean by that, I'm not a big fan of the game, but anything outside of the game, we just talked about them being part of the Magic theme right now. Anywhere else outside of the game, I see Dungeons and Dragons kind of implanted, I'm in. I love Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and there's been a couple. I didn't even realize there was actually a new Dungeons and Dragons movie out in 2021, and this is coming out in 2023. So man, they're cranking them out pretty fast now. And there was an old one back in the early 2000s that was atrocious. That was a horrible Dungeons and Dragons. But this trailer looks kind of more up to date, high speed. Good special effects, and obviously with a high profile actor like Chris Pine, I'm really hoping for this one to be the best of the bunch. But the only thing I didn't like about this trailer was Chris Pine is actually the bard. He's not like he's like the main guy, but he's a bard. Just the guy that plays music and sings or whatever. From the trailer, maybe kind of they're tricking us or whatever, but he's not the big swashbuckling, sword wielding tough guy. So I don't know what they're doing with that, but anyway, it definitely looks interesting. I definitely recommend checking out the trailer. And then I want to talk about this trailer, The Monsters by Rob Zombie, right? Obviously, I know everybody saw this trailer already, right? We talked about this in the group, and you guys both hated it, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I hated it, but I was curious to see which direction he was going to go, and it seems like he's just embracing the tone of the sitcom.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't know. And obviously, I don't know if it was always a decision to go to Netflix or it was based on the lackluster reception it got that it moved to Netflix.
Yeah, I was looking through the history of that. Yeah, and I saw they didn't announce it was going to be released. It's going to be in September, I think, right? It's coming out in September on Netflix. But they didn't announce that was happening until like last month. So yeah, it seemed like it must have been something different prior to a month ago, right?
Yeah. That's the way I took it because I saw that news after I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was not happy with the trailer. So, I thought, oh, geez, this is just straight to video,
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting what you just said too, Pat. So you're a Monsters fan kind of in general. Is that you consider yourself a Monsters fan?
Yeah.
Well, with it taking the tone of the show, why does that seem a little like you might not be in for that?
Just because I was hoping for like an updated take,
Okay. We obviously mentioned Batman and Robin a lot, and when I mention Batman and Robin, I always use the disclaimer that the reason I think I enjoy that movie and no one else does is because I watch it in the same vein as I watch Batman 66, which is obviously a big mockery of a lot of things that's not to be taken seriously, and that's how I watch Batman and Robin. That's why I don't mind it. So I think it's interesting you're saying that you were looking for a fresh take, but I do have one complaint with it, and it's not really a complaint, but my concern with this is the color. That seems I wish it were at least toned down. Like if obviously it's going to be in color, which is fine, but it seems like bright, vibrant colors everywhere, right?
Yeah, and Tom on the group even mentioned, just something odd about the monsters in color.
Right. So I was thinking color would be good, but yeah, if it were just, what's the word I'm looking for? Lower,
more muted colors.
Muted colors, yeah, something like that. But I'm gonna predict right now that I'm actually gonna like this.
I'm
definitely gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah, especially since it's on Netflix. Why not, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see, because there was a couple moments during the trailer that got a good chuckle out of me. So we'll see.
Was it the sound effects when the woman was fainting?
No. I don't even recall that specifically, so I know that wasn't it. The end I thought was kind of some of my favorite older Monsters episodes are when they kind of left their house, when they got out, and were in places, or maybe those were movies. Did they do monster movies subsequently too?
Yeah,
where they kind of went to the beach or whatever, stuff like that, right? Yeah. But anyway, we'll see. I just want to mention that now, though.
Go ahead, Pat.
I was going to say, in the casting, I think, Mike, maybe you mentioned this too, is the casting of Herman. It just doesn't seem to work, but I don't mind Lily and Grandpa. They both.
Yeah, they both look perfect. Grandpa looks identical, right?
Well, no mustache on the original, but I think it works.
Okay.
I think it works here.
Yeah, I think I can get behind those two, but yeah, Herman just and it's hard to replace, or even Fred Gwynn's voice
Yeah.
was just so synonymous with Herman. Even other movies that I've watched with Fred Gwynn, it's like, oh, I see Herman Munster.
Has Rob Zombie ever done a straight up like comedy like this before?
No,
I don't think so.
no. It would be interesting to see this in black and white as well. That'd be cool if they released both versions.
Oh yeah, that might be cool. Yeah.
Frank Darabont did that with The Mist.
Yeah.
If you, and watching it in black and white, The Mist it's like a whole other movie. I actually prefer it in black and white.
So do I.
A little more intense and yeah, really, really good.
Yeah. But there you go. That's I actually watched we watched all the Downton Abbeys again. That's totally my wife's thing. And I can't remember what else. There's something else I watched, but it wasn't geek related. This is all I got geek related watch stuff this week. So anyway, that'll do it for me.
Yeah, we watched Downton Abbey. I don't think I didn't finish it. Emily might have, and I was enjoying it. It was a good show.
Downton Abbey's a great show, definitely. It's just it's just not what I might go to when I have options for sure.
Well, last night Marcus and I watched Clue, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you love that. You love that movie. What's that other one you love a lot? No, maybe the Clue is the one I'm thinking about. I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for you telling me about it, which it definitely is funny. So, all right, are you ready, Mike?
I will say real quick, we went and saw Love and Thunder this week.
Oh, cool. And
I would say, out of 10, I'd probably say like a 7.5. I didn't like it as much as Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I probably shouldn't have listened to what you said at all, Kevin, because it kind of like influenced the way I was watching it, I think. Kind of what I was looking for, because I didn't feel like Thor was emasculated or in any way. I thought,
really?
And as a matter of fact, I thought he started out sort of on a swing back to the more arrogant Thor, but you could say that he was sort of covering for how he was actually feeling. I mean, but the thing there's nitpicky things I didn't like. I thought it was a little choppy. I thought they got from A to B to C to A to B just too fast. And I really think they could have divided it into two movies, one dealing with Jane Foster Thor and one dealing with Gore. I didn't think they needed to shove them all together in one movie because there was just too much to cover. But I also didn't like how Mjolnir could shatter apart and come back together. I didn't.
Yeah, that was different. Yeah, I didn't mention that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most of the humor I thought worked. Chelsea thought I was a little bit too much. Didn't really bother me.
What'd you think of the goats?
They were fine. They weren't as prevalent. Again, listening to you, I thought they were going to be on screen constantly, but they really weren't that. They were on the screen that much.
Yeah, I guess I should have toned that down because they weren't. And maybe that's why I thought they were funny every time because it wasn't. They were only on there like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay.
I think my watching experience was influenced by the public as well, because I've just heard so many bad things about it, and I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
That's what I said too. If you watched my review last week, Ty, I don't think it was near as bad as the hate it was getting. I gave it a decent review. Yeah.
And again, it's fine for kids. You just see. In fact, so we went with my my mom and Chelsea. That was like their favorite part.
Yeah.
And but there's just that, and then there's maybe if you're a little bit of Korg baby making talk might be a little too much, but yeah, other than that, it's fine.
I think the problem with the general public is they relate what they're watching too much to the best of that version. So because it wasn't as good as Ragnarok, the movie sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
Because but by no means a perfect movie, but I enjoyed, pretty much the whole movie, and I couldn't find any massive complaints But yeah, it wasn't good as Ragnarok. But that's just my guess as to why it got so much hate is because it's not getting better each time.
I
Well,
think
not-
people go to things looking for reasons to dislike it,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's
Well,
going to
I
be
think-
hard to beat Ragnarok. I mean, that's probably my favorite Marvel movie, the one that I would go to.
Yeah,
Every
I
time
agree.
say that, I start thinking about Guardians too. I really like those.
Yeah, I've obviously watched all of them.
Makes me sad. A-list says the same things. Makes me sad when I hear that.
What?
That Ragnarok's the best MCU movie. It's a great movie, but it isn't by any stretch the best MCU movie to me.
We need to save this conversation from.
I think it's the most entertaining.
Endgame is redonkulous.
I agree. I think that's what I was saying. I was going to subcategorize. I think Endgame is the best movie.
If
But
you're
I'm
looking for
going
comedy,
for,
if you're looking for comedy, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and Ragnarok are the top.
right.
But if you're looking for a good, semi-serious with comedic interjections, Infinity War and Endgame are just spectacular, and Civil War spectacular to me.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I find myself going to Ragnarok more often than the other one. I don't know.
I find myself going to Civil War the most, even though I like Endgame better than Civil War.
Well, more comedic movies in general are more rewatchable than
That's
serious.
true too. Yeah. You have to have a good gap in between a little bit more serious movies to really appreciate them again. Yeah. So.
Right.
All right, I need to come up with something like that because I brought back Tales from the Loop and I brought back Stranger Things for me because I finished them. But it sounds like I need to make sure whenever y'all haven't watched Thor, but you obviously are going to, revisit that later as well, so we can all discuss it as a group as well. Because I'm glad you mentioned that, Pat, because I wasn't even thinking that. Hey, did anybody see Thor this weekend? Yeah. I'm glad to. I'm. It's good to hear other people's opinions, especially you guys. So. All right, is that it then?
That's it.
Mike, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
All right. So I checked the comments and nobody submitted any guesses for the profits. Unfortunately, I look forward to people's guesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Someday.
here we are. Yep. So the window is closed. Not taking any more submissions. We'll run down and just so you guys know, 8 of these were selected by Marcus because I was having difficulty in picking. So I said, Mark, you picked 10. Well, he got to 8 and he couldn't pick 2 more. So I picked 1 and Emily picked 1.
Nice.
So we go Obi-Wan number 3 by Phil Noto, Captain America, Symbol of Truth by R.B. Silva. That's number 3. Deathstroke Inc. number 11, Mikhail Yanin. I think I say these right. Iron Cat 2, Pierre Perez. Good Boy 3, Kit Wallace. Ant-Man 1, Scotty Young. Amazing Spider-Man 6, which is also issue 800. So they're charging, I think, $10 for it.
Wow.
Scotty Young, either 8 or 10 for it. Wolverine patch number 4, Young Yun Yu. Strange number 4, Lee Garbett. And Detective Comics 1062, Evan Cagle.
And just to interject here, I have all of these books on order. And for anybody, obviously we didn't get a winner, that anybody can get these free. But anybody that's interested in having any of these, if you don't have an opportunity to grab them from your local store, or you got there late and they didn't have them, whatever, I will have these specific 10 books with these covers for sale at the beginning of the top 10 covers of the week Whatnot show next Wednesday 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be charging just what I paid for them. So. But anyway, there you go.
Yep. You guys want to guess the 2 that Marcus didn't pick? Or you want to do that after I reveal the results?
Yeah, let's do that after you. Yeah.
Okay. So this was really close. The votes were spread out evenly. Number 1 was solid number 1. Number 2 was a tie. And then I had 1, 2, 3. I had 4 that tied for 4th place. They all had the same number. So
wow.
It was crazy. So anyway, we'll start with.
You mean 3rd place? The tied for 3rd place? 4 that tied for 3rd place?
No, it would have been if we continued 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all the way down.
Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But that's how close it was. If any of those 4th place books had received 1 more,
gotcha.
So, coming in 3rd, we have Detective Comics 1062.
Nice.
Yep, and this is I think this is Cy Spurrier's first issue. And I looked at the future covers, very, very unique covers coming up for Detective. So I think it's kind of making a shift in tone and everything with Cy Spurrier's writing and the artwork with Raphael Albuquerque's doing the artwork. He's got a very distinct style.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's definitely not like any detective, before.
And I really like the trade dress on that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And that's the A cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And that received, there was a tiebreaker for basically 2nd place. That received 5 votes. And then also receiving 5 votes, I was really surprised with this one. Number 2 is Wolverine patch number 4.
Are we surprised? Yeah.
I don't know. I that one just never popped for me.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Which direction were you surprised in? You thought it should be number 1, or you're surprised it was on 3? Okay. Really? Yeah. Wow. That's a ridiculous cover. Yeah. Not surprising to me.
Yeah. It is really good.
What'd you say, Ty?
I said I voted for it.
Yeah.
Yep. And coming in at number 1, which I ended up ordering a copy of this myself just because of the cover, is
there we go.
Strange number 4.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now that's surprising to me.
Really?
That's number 1. Yeah. I didn't vote for it. I didn't vote for it.
Well, that got 6 votes. That's how crazy things were. There was 6 votes for that, and then Wolverine patch and Detective had 5, and then Amazing Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Good Boy, and Obi-Wan all had 4. Captain America had 3, Deathstroke 1. No love for Iron Cat.
I'm personally gonna grab a copy of that just for the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
All right. So, you guys want to guess which 2 Marcus didn't pick?
Marcus did not pick Detective or Deathstroke.
Anyone else?
That sounds good to me too, actually.
Close. He didn't pick Detective. Emily picked that one. Or Strange. I picked that one.
Okay.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
I feel like I've noticed a trend.
What?
Every time some sort of Moon Knight cover or Carnage cover makes it into the top 3, Dad is surprised.
I don't think that's true.
Last week you were definitely, or the week before, you were definitely surprised that Carnage number 4 made it.
Yeah, you're right. That was one other example. I don't think there's another example because I love those first 2 or 3 Moon Knight covers, and those are in our top 10. I voted for every one of those.
Did you?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it was back-to-back weeks.
Well, and this one isn't a Moon Knight cover either. I know Moon Knight's on it.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
But first of all, it's a different looking Moon Knight,
Mm-hmm.
and then secondly, it's strange title.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's not actually Moon Knight.
Oh, see, there you go. It's not even Moon Knight.
What do you mean?
Oh, hold on. Let me look it up again. Talk amongst yourselves.
What is it, Moon Shade or something?
It's a Moon Knight imposter.
Yeah, who's the villain?
There's a lot of Moon type villains where they just kind of mimic Moon Knight.
I think that's who it is.
Well, that would make more sense to me.
If I was reading Moon Knight or even Strange, I would probably.
Yeah, there's a couple I know. There's a Moon Shade and there's a Hunter's Moon is the new villain in the new series.
It might be Hunter's Moon.
But he doesn't look mummified like that. So I thought it could have just been a different art of Moon Knight. But I don't know of any that look exactly like that.
I actually had a bit of an epiphany for myself recently, recently this past week. And it kind of references what you just said, Tyler, about how you just got that book just for the cover.
Yeah.
I think I'll still get books for covers, to sell, either on eBay or the website or whatnot or whatever. But I'm not going to buy any more books just for the cover for myself. Now, shocked. I know you're shocked. What I will do is I'm going to buy portfolios of just so I get some kind of print of it. Because if I don't care about the interior, why pay for it, So.
All right, I've got it. It says reintroducing the Dark Moon Knight, Shadow Knight. So,
Okay.
So that's Shadow Knight. Looks awesome.
So I'd say you have the most experience with portfolios here, Pat. Do you think that's a doable plan? Like, if it's a great cover, you can always get them in some kind of other format later, right?
I don't know if you can always, it's always, art subject to the individual. So you never know. Something you may really like may never be on something else or printed in a book somewhere. I know a lot of times I feel that way. What you're getting at, Kevin, was I don't want to track down every single cover this said artist does, just hoping that they do like an art book somewhere down the line, but who knows if they do or not.
And they don't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's still what I'm sticking with now because at the very least, it'll save me money.
Yeah.
Which I really need to start focusing on.
They don't take as long to read either.
Say it again.
They don't take as long to read either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that's again good stuff. And it's every time we keep picking these books that just aren't my cup of tea for the top one, it just makes me appreciate how awesome our group is, and every time about the range of tastes and opinions we have in this group is something that I'm kind of proud of for us all the time. So
yeah, I only got one this week.
Which one's the one you picked?
Strange.
But
I'm surprised it was number one.
Okay.
I mean, by one vote. That's everything. I was not surprised that both Scotty Young books covers got picked by Marcus. I mean, he loves.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is he really likes his stuff. It's cartoony, it's funny, but also he can pick out Scotty Young artwork. So it's like the very first artist that he can recognize himself. So
that's the same thing with Jessie. Yeah, she's the same way with Scotty Young right now.
Yeah,
I finally picked the Scotty Young cover this week.
What's that, Patrick?
I finally picked the Scotty Young cover this week.
Ant-Man, right?
No.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I didn't pick the Spider-Man because I was annoyed with how, and I know this is odd we're talking about a Scotty Young cover, but Sandman just was off for me.
I thought he was awesome.
You did?
Yeah. The only thing I thought was weird about that cover, and it could be part of the joke, is that it's Electro making fun of somebody else's outfit when his is one of the most ridiculous outfits there is.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who's not crazy about Scotty Young?
Probably.
You are the only one on the planet, probably.
Yeah.
We finally found.
I did think that Null cover was really funny when I posted the other week. Maybe I need to read them more.
Yeah, I picked the Spider-Man one because I thought it was funny.
I think it's something I appreciate, but I wouldn't go out of my way to buy them.
Yeah,
I love the Ant-Man one. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And
It
I
was
didn't
a
hate
great-
the Spider-Man. I didn't hate the Spider-Man one either. I liked it, but I just didn't pick it because I thought Sandman was too goofy for me. I don't know.
It was a great one. I think it's a 1 in 25 variant for Ant-Man #1, where he's jumping off of something, so he's real tiny, but the way the light is, it's casting his shadow, and his shadow is enormous on the wall.
Oh.
It's really, really well done. And I, as soon as Mark was picking him, he said that one. I said, sorry, buddy, can't use that one. So it's a 125, but it's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, Ty, you're the odd man out there. Scotty Young's awesome.
There, I forgot to put that up. So that shows who voted for what on the top 3. You guys done with that?
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading, so I was quiet. Sorry about that. Yeah. All right, but good stuff.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Let's move into comic book reviews. Looks like Patrick's first this time, which will give Tyler, being at the last part of the screen, enough time to read a book while we talk about ours, and then he can review one as well. Here we go.
I have to admit that I don't have one. I'm sorry.
What?
It's a rough week.
What?
I read enough for you, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
All right, here we go. All right, Patrick, what you got?
Read some Star Wars this week.
Nice.
I was just gonna kind of get caught up. I really didn't have a plan, so I just picked up a stack and started reading them. I'll say right off the bat, Star Wars. This Star Wars title in general is still a get it for me. Started off at number 20, which was sort of a standalone issue. Dealing with Luke, he's still searching for further teachings of the Jedi, and he tries to access a holocron, but it's not really telling him much. But he deciphers a clue, and it leads him to a planet of I don't know if they're specifically Jedi funguses, or they're just hallucinatory magic mushrooms per se. But he begins having visions of past Jedi on this planet, and they try to lead him along and tell him more about the Force. I've sort of seen this. I think I've seen this trope done before in like movies or in comics, where the hero is led to a planet and he's kind of overtaken by the environment, here being these mushrooms, and it seems like it's a perfect life, and they tempt you to stay, but eventually, the hero resists and escapes and goes on his way. But it seems, I couldn't really tell here, but it seemed like the wildlife or the fungus here, it didn't really seem like they had ill intent, although it appears that some Jedi have died on this planet. But they try to teach him more about the general fundamentals of the Force and the thinking, the philosophy, I guess you would say, behind the Force. And I thought it was an overall really good story. And all these issues are written by Charles Soule. This issue and the next was the artist is Marco Castiello, and he's really good with ship design and mech design, and he's also good with likeness, but he doesn't border on like photorealistic, which kind of throws you off sometimes, I think, when you're reading a book like Star Wars. The next issue, 21, gets you back into the main storyline where, the Rebel fleet has been sort of decimated by, what's her name? Commander Zara, the female commander, aboard Tarkin's Will, which is a Star Destroyer. And they're searching for, it's been sort of destroyed, but there's pieces, they can't really contact each other. So they're searching for this last bit of their group. And in the meantime, Shara Bey, who is married to Kes Dameron, who are Poe Dameron's parents. Shara Bay has been stranded on Tarkin's will. She's actually hiding out there as a spy because there's certain portions when the Death Star exploded, it damaged this Star Destroyer. And as a legacy to the people who died on the Death Star, they have not repaired the section of the Star Destroyer. Sounds like a sort of a convenient plot device in a way. But Shara Bay's hanging out and trying to give information back to the rebels. Meanwhile, Cass is getting irritated that they're not going and trying to rescue her. And it leads to the next issue, which is also part of the Crimson Reign storyline. Although I don't think there's not much tie into the Crimson Reign storyline. Not having read the other parts, I can't say for sure. But the only thing that really happens here is Kira comes to Princess Leia and offers up information on where the last bit of their stranded fleet is located. In return for them sort of buying supplies, they said they do it on the rebels buy supplies on the black market anyway. So come through Crimson Dawn and buy stuff, and we'll give you this information about the rest of the lost fleet.
That's pretty interesting tie-in. Yeah.
Yeah. But the next 3 issues are also they're branded with the Crimson Reign crossover, and I don't really see having anything to do with any further things dealing with Kira or the Crimson. It's Crimson Dawn, right? It's the name.
Yeah,
of
Crimson Dawn's the name of her gang or whatever.
Yeah. So then in issue 23, everything kind of comes to a head, and they go to rescue the last part of the lost fleet that Kira has given the information for, but Commander Zara has got some of the information of Shara Bay, and it's all they set up. She threatens. She knows about Poe Dameron, and she threatens to kill their kid. So everything kind of comes to a head. Everything sort of mashes up, and the rebels actually end up, although they lose some of their fleet, they end up defeating Tarkin's will, and Tarkin's will crashes on the planet that they're surrounding. And that leads to 24, where Commander Zara is on the run, and she's sort of playing a cat and mouse game with Leia, trying to get her to come after her herself because she has a grudge against her. They sort of have had an ongoing battle of the wits that's been going on through this post Empire Strikes Back run of Star Wars. And Leia eventually does have a showdown with her, and they kind of do the old trope where they leave her. She's about to be killed by a monster that's on the planet, but they never actually show what happens. So who knows if Commander Zara is actually gone for good. But it's an entertaining book. I do enjoy it. It's not probably, if you're a Star Wars fan, it's probably a must get, a must have. But I just say it's a get it for me. I'm still enjoying it. I'm not in no means am I close to dropping the title or anything. I do enjoy them trying to explore these gaps between the main original trilogy. So, and I don't know how much further this is going to go pre-Jedi, but I'll also be interested to see where they go post-Jedi too. So it's still, they have me on board, and I'm still a fan of the Star Wars comic being published by Marvel.
Okay. That's good to hear. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I will. I haven't read any of the new run of Star Wars yet, and I have them all, of course. But yeah, Crimson Raid's the only Star Wars I've read since this new run. Well, except for Hunt for the Bounty Hunters too, but just the regular Star Wars title, I haven't read those. So anyway, I need to get on that. You do too, Tyler, if you're still here.
I agree.
And I was gonna say, I recently watched Enterprise, and yeah, they have that whole storyline where they go to a planet and there's a fungus there that, that whole thing you're talking about, that was in that. So, just something recent, like you were saying, you think you've seen it before.
Yeah.
Or no, you've seen it before. Yeah. So
I started buying those at number 21.
okay. Hey, well, that's something.
So yeah, you mentioned it there, but that's that was when I first started collecting when 21 came out.
And you can probably get 1 to 20 cheap. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
anything's really a key or anything in those first 20, I think.
I love the cover of the one that just came out this week.
So
it's
it's
got-
got the
It's
Inquisitors
got
on it.
everybody on it, Anakin,
Yeah.
Kylo. It's a great design.
Yeah, I don't think I can envision it right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've got it right behind me if you want me to pull it out.
Yeah, let me see.
I was going to look it up. I'm surprised. Did it make our list? It didn't make our top 10,
No.
but Ty loves it.
Turn it. Your screen.
There's some light on there, but there you go.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I don't think I haven't seen that. Yeah.
Got the Inquisitor, Poe, Vader, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Kylo. Yeah.
I remember not picking that now.
And I love when they do that, backwards continuity thing where you said Poe's parents are in that with Leia. That's cool. I like that. I love that kind of thing. That's why Star Wars fans need to be reading this so you can know these kind of backstories and stuff. So. All right. So Mike basically gets your second two or your last two of that group you just covered. Good job, also, Mike. Good job.
Thank you. I knew Patrick was on a reading spree there, so.
Okay. All right. Well, I went to what I have reviewed recently and continued, which, like I said, I think that'd be a really cool thing for us to try to do as much as we can. But I reviewed Wolverine patch 1 and 2 a couple weeks ago. Or actually, no, that was last week. I just reviewed them last week. And read 3 this week. And if you remember from what I had said before, I like those a lot. And basically the story is there's this mysterious plane crashed in the middle of a jungle, and Wolverine is investigating this crash. Someone comes to hire him. And actually it referenced the timeline in this too. This references number 3, Wolverine patch number 3 from 1988, which, we were talking about how this is that timeline. And basically what we find out is I mentioned there's 2 other new mutants that I wasn't familiar with in the first 2 issues too, that get in a big fight with Wolverine, but then they kind of team up with him. There's a baby that these 2 mutants have that, of course, as you can imagine, is also a mutant. And of course, the baby is super powerful, more powerful than any mutant kind of thing. It's a healer, and not only can it heal itself, but also, heal anyone, and not only physically, but it seems like psychologically too. It's like crazy powerful baby, and it's actually, it's a baby, but it's like 3 or something like that. It's really little, but it can walk and stuff. And basically what happened is these mutants, when they had this baby, they're part of a Russian program to create mutants. And when they have this baby, the Russian program that created them as mutants wants to take the baby from them. And when they learn this, they actually, kidnap their own baby, for lack of a better way to describe it, and steal this experimental Russian plane and run, and it crash lands in the middle of, what is it, Marjapur or Morapur? Madripoor, yeah. And so we kind of thought it was all about the plane, but it's actually about the baby. But then we learned some of, I told you there's a whole bunch of people involved here. Nick Fury, and then the prince of the area, and then there's a couple local guerrillas, and there's natives. Everybody's involved. I told you there's a whole bunch of people involved of fighting over what I thought was just the plane, but half of them are after the baby Then the other half are after the plane for the technology, because it's like some new technology involving the plane as well. So that all kind of starts to come together more. It answers our questions. So they actually, Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. get a hold of the plane, and the baby's still on the run with the mutants. Wolverine Patch has to fend off all the baddies of all the different miscellaneous groups. They've kind of teamed up too to fight the mutants, and he fights them all while the two mutants that are new, I'm forgetting the name right now too, and I didn't write my notes, I was bad. But the other two mutants I mentioned with the baby they get away, and that's kind of where this one ends. But the baby actually helped Wolverine, and now Marvel Girl is actually involved as well, which it's a little bit inexplicable for me to even try to describe. But she's involved now as well. And they went through like 3 pages of explaining Wolverine's history in this, which I thought was kind of strange, but I guess it has to keep happening occasionally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the new readers, right? So
Yeah.
I still really enjoyed this. Written really well. Art was great. Wolverine I love, so I really like this a lot. And then I went to, this is what I did, All New Savage Avengers #3. I did review 1 and 2 a couple weeks ago. And basically this is following Conan in the modern era is being hunted by Deathlock. And in the midst of his battle with Deathlock, Black Knight and Elektra's Daredevil, Weapon H, Cloak and Dagger, and Anti-Venom all get involved with fighting Deathlock for miscellaneous reasons as well. As I mentioned in the first 2, they all get sucked back into Conan's timeline because of when they're in the midst of fighting Deathlock, he's a time-traveling cyborg. So they all get sucked into this time warp back to Conan's time, and now they're not only fighting Deathlock, but also all the other crazy bad things that can happen back in Conan's time. And basically in this one, they come to realize that they need Deathlock to get back to modern times. So they come up with this plan to capture him, to beat him down so bad they can control him in essence and use him to get back to modern times. And what's interesting about this is, so Elektra's connection to the hand, and the hand is thousands and thousands of years old. So there's this old hand temple in the middle of this jungle that they take the fight to intentionally, because then Elektra can do this ceremony that will basically take control of Deathlock. They just have to beat him down so bad to a certain point, then she can take control of him, and then they can get back to modern times. But accidentally, for lack of a better way to describe it, she calls forth this demon spirit that actually Conan has fought before, and he gets involved and messes with all their plans and beats them all at once, and pretty handily too. And what's interesting about this is on the last page, there's some kind of reference to this Deathlock. I mean, does anybody have any historical knowledge of Deathlock, really?
A little bit.
So is there a bunch of Deathlocks? Like Deathlock's as much of a moniker as it is a person, so a lot of people can be Deathlock? Is that what it is?
It is now, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, is anybody else going to read this? You care about a spoiler?
No.
I'm going to read it, but you can spoil it.
On the last page, he's starting to have. You're not going to be able to. Let me see if I can.
If only we had a way to put pictures on the screen.
Well, I didn't think about this until
right now.
So he's looking in water, and you see whose reflection he can see there?
It's
Miles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Miles. Nice.
Yeah, he's. I guess it's this
So
particular Deathlock is Miles. It's
Huh.
and basically what's happening, and this kind of helps me understand something else in a way too. I don't know whether you remember me mentioning if you look at the cover of #1 of All New Savage Avengers, Deathlock seems like he's kind of part of the team. He's a good guy, right?
yeah,
And that was kind of confusing to me. Then reading the first 2 comics, they're all fighting against him. So I wondered why they would draw it that way. But he starts to kind of decide needs to be helping them, in a way. So, and then, like I said, he sees his reflection and it's Miles, and it kind of alludes to he's Miles Morales, so we'll see what it goes. That's the last page, obviously. So, but it's pretty interesting. I still really liked it a lot, and the way they lay out the panels and the choreography of the fighting and stuff, it's done really well, in my opinion, as well. So, again, just like Patrick said, both of these are get-its. And if you're a big Wolverine fan like I am, that's a must-have for me for Patch. And if you're a big Avengers fan, but you don't even need to be an Avengers fan, actually. If you're a big fan of any of those characters, I would say the Savage Avengers is a must-have as well. So I like them both a lot. Glad I'm gonna continue on with those titles and keep adding them on to the review.
So Conan went back with them.
Yeah, they all went back. Yeah,
They went back. Okay. Because I'm wondering if when they do come back to modern times, if they're going to leave Conan there, because Marvel lost.
That's where he belongs.
Yeah. Well, Marvel lost the publishing rights for Conan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
So I wonder how they're going to do that. I mean, I don't know. They just can't do a Conan title, or they can't use the character at all, or they can still use the character but not the title. I'm not sure. But that would be a way to explain why he's not in the book anymore.
Yeah, that would be an out. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that would make sense as far as the story's being told as well, that Conan would want to stay there in general. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's not enjoying himself.
Right. And incidentally, Weapon H, there's some gamma frequency he can control in himself too, and he was actually red in this one. He looked like Red Hulk. Weapon H apparently got more going on than, and his whole flight with his wings, that was new, so they're doing a lot with Weapon H being crazy in this as well. So
around the time that character came about, I was really angry at Marvel still, and just frustrated with, they're just mashing characters together.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's kind of cool looking, but I mean, I don't know. Just keep meshing characters together.
Yeah.
Make a new character. But I mean, I say that like it's easy.
Right.
But also, that's not my job. That's their job.
Right.
So, but he's a cool character.
I've used that same reference with all these comics and music too. It's like we have so much, it's like come up with new stuff, but it's like so much already. It's like coming up with new stuff is, like I said, especially how do they do that with music? How do they still come up with different music? I don't know. Been around as long. Same thing with any storytelling, especially when you're trying to maintain some kind of continuity with stuff. It's why we love it so much. As long as they do it right and don't make us mad.
Right. Well, I was really mad at Marvel for a while.
Yeah, I'm pretty much over that now too. The more I think about it, who cares? It's like I'll like it or I won't like it, and I'll get it or I won't get it. But whatever they want to do with it, it's their money. They can keep doing what they do. So,
yeah.
All right, Tyler, did you read a book?
Oh, he checked out.
He fell asleep. That's what he did.
While we wait for him real quick, I want to throw out that Amazing Spider-Man. It's issue 800. And I was reading some comments from people, and they said, why they use the legacy number. They highlight the legacy numbering on these key issues, 800, 750, and all this stuff. Just go back to all legacy.
Yeah, they're trying to get the best of both worlds. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. So next usually would be You Got a Deal, Are You For Real? But we're not doing that. I'm going to leave it to a vote. There's 3 of us. Are we leaving up last week's You Got a Deal, Are You For Real lot again? Or are we just putting it in the mix of everything else to sell? My vote is to put it in the mix.
Yeah, it's sat there. Just put it in the mix.
Patrick, you go with that?
I'm fine with it.
All right. So that Avengers is available for you now, Patrick?
Oh, I don't need it.
No, I'm just kidding. And then after that, now Pat's on deck. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm excited for this one. I get to see all the pictures prior. So, have I said that before? I think I say it every week. All right.
Yeah, because the top 3 results.
Unfortunately, here we go.
All right. Well, it's kind of a tough week, because with San Diego Comic-Con happening this past week and weekend, still going on, as a matter of fact. A lot of announcements. Kind of hard to keep up with them when they're happening as time of the show. But I tried to pick up some things that are cool and some things that were announced earlier in the week. I think the first thing is G.I. Joe announced Sergeant Slaughter in the classified series.
Okay.
Couple shots of him. He comes with his own little action figure because back in the day he did a commercial as the real life Sergeant Slaughter, advertising the G.I. Joe figures. So they're kind of playing off of that and including a little miniature figure.
That's what I was going to ask. He was never actually a character on the show, though?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was?
On the show. Yep, in the animated show. Did the voice and everything.
Nice.
Another shot of him.
That's really good. The face is great.
Yeah, it is a really good portrait face. Yeah. I think he looks good with and without the glasses and sunglasses. Looks good both ways. And as like I said, I hit or miss with G.I. Joe, but I'll pick up certain characters, and the crossover with classic 80s wrestling got me, and I pre-ordered my copy of Sergeant Slaughter. So we'll stick with G.I. Joe Classified. I just saw this today. Serpentor. Remember?
Yes. Yeah.
He's going to be a big deluxe figure with his big old hovercraft there.
That's very cool. Very cool.
I don't think they said how much he's going to be, but it's going to be up there. And then speaking of prices, we talked about these 2 last week. And I'm going to put them up again because, yeah, Dr. Mindbender, $42, and that Boba Fett in disguise is what, $34?
I can't see it with the band. Let me take that off.
I was trying to read it when it got to the transparent.
Oh, yeah, 42 and 34. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to touch on those 2 again because I didn't have prices for them last week.
Gotcha. Man, these are expensive.
Yeah. And then this was sort of an early announcement this week was NECA's doing great Universal Monster figures. They've done Frankenstein, Werewolf, and the Mummy so far, and now Dracula's coming out. You can find these. I've seen these at Walmart and Target, and it seems like they're. At first, I thought it was Blinker. You missed it because they were disappearing, but it seems like they're doing additional runs because I've seen all the figures, all three of them again. And I'm really tempted to. They do black and white and color versions, so it's gonna get that monsters thing going on. You can choose either way. Couple shots. There he is with all the pieces. There he is just set up in a little diorama there.
That looks good. Yeah,
they're really well done. There's the sculptor by the name of Trevor Grove has done all the portraits for all these Universal Monsters figures. He does a lot of other stuff too, but he's a great portrait artist, sculpture artist. As a matter of fact, this is a quick little side note. He for NECA back in the day, he did figures for the Breaking Bad show, and I guess in Albuquerque they're gonna construct a statue of Walt and Jesse, and he's been commissioned to do the sculpts.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Are you gonna get these, Mike?
I really might, because I love the Universal Monsters.
Yeah, you do.
And,
Yeah.
I've been so tempted, but I've held off so far.
what do they use? Are they like 25 or 30 bucks?
Yeah, they're like 35.
Oh,
If you want to go a little cheaper, they did announce these, so it's good that you mentioned it. I think these are $20, but they're glow in the dark versions, and they sort of come on. This is sort of a throwback to the Remco figures back in the 70s. They come on blister cards with the bubble, but they don't come with all the accessories that came with the box releases.
yeah, but yeah, I think the the Dracula you just talked about, that's probably, I mean, that looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth the 35 for as few action figures that I buy. When I do buy them, it would be well worth the money.
Yeah, go to your local Target in Walmart, and you can see them in person. Dracula's not out yet, but the other three should be floating around. I haven't seen that much of the Mummy, but definitely have seen Frankenstein and Werewolf multiple times.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals where I sort of want to get them, but I haven't. But then I have to also think about, do I want the color version or the black and white version? And so far, I have none of them. So.
Yeah, I was thinking the black and white would look great, but then what's so striking here is the red ribbon there. It stands out, looks so great. So I'd probably end up getting the color versions.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Universal monster anyway?
Mine?
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see where we go next. And I apologize because of the lateness of trying to get pictures together for San Diego. It's sort of a hodgepodge here. I'll throw this out real quick. Mezco Reaction is doing Sin City figures, and they're 5 points. I didn't get individual shots of all of these because Nancy is topless, so I didn't think that would be appropriate for the family.
Yeah.
But these, they come in these big collector packs with lithographs. I would have to sort of think that they might release these as cheaper. I think these were exclusive versions while SDC's is going on. But I'd have to think if they're putting the money into sculpting, they might release these as cheaper individual carded figures further on down the line. And like I said, I apologize because you can't really see a lot what's going on there, but they are kind of neat. And like I said, maybe look them up if you're interested on your own. I just didn't want to offend anybody with Nancy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Let me ask you guys something about Sin City. Was Sin City a movie first, or a comic first, or a book first, or what?
Comic first.
A comic first? Okay.
Yeah.
Because, man, it seems like it's just carried on for such a long time. But when's the last time there was anything actual new and original from them?
Yeah, it's all Frank Miller, so it's whenever he gets an itch to do more Sin City stuff.
Yeah, I think it started in Dark Horse Presents, didn't it?
Yeah, yep.
When was the last one? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I couldn't say.
It's been a while, though, right?
It's been a while. Maybe he's done like a one-off here or there. But no, I don't think he's done any long storylines or any limited series or anything like that. Sticking with Mezco, these are two shots of 112 figures. We talked about the Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Here's Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer.
Yeah, I want that. Yeah, I'm a big Frazetta fan, and Death Dealer started it. I would actually say Death Dealers probably started my fantasy.
Yeah.
Infatuation or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought he was a really cool figure.
Yeah.
No price. He's a 112 figure. And if you think about the Spider-Man and Green Goblin, they were up over $100 because of the huge shield and axe and all the detailing. I imagine he's going to be around there too. And if you want to go even more expensive, check out this awesome Ghost Rider.
Oh, jeez.
That is awesome.
I mean, I don't think I'll be going down this road, but he is something
really
else.
Cool. Yeah.
Like I said, before when we talked about Judge Dredd, Mezco did a 112 Judge Dredd with his bike, and they've shown that they can do, figures that ride on vehicles. So this looks, again, just as good, if not better, because it's more of a traditional motorcycle look than I keep wanting to call it Lawgiver, but I think that's his gun. Judge Dredd's. Whatever it's called, but it was more futuristic and science fiction-y, but this is more traditional. I think they did everything really well. Even Ghost Rider's head looks awesome, that translucent plastic and the wheels and the tires of the bike and everything. Just really cool stuff.
Yeah, Hot Wheels needs to take notes.
I don't think I saw a price for that too, and I'm thinking it was like $35.
Jeez.
For
the packaging.
Yeah. Quick for you Transformers fans, they're doing the Shoujo figures of Optimus Prime and Megatron. So if Johnny wants a sexy Megatron, there he goes. He didn't like the M Bison from a couple weeks ago. Maybe he likes this cute version of Megatron.
That's crazy. That's funny.
That's for Johnny.
They do look cool though.
I think the Optimus is pretty nifty. I like how they incorporated the look of Optimus Prime into her outfit. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the Megatron's for Johnny. I brought this here for Mike. Iron Studios is doing this Jaws statue.
Oh, that is great.
I don't even can imagine the price, but I just thought it was cool. That's not the greatest picture either, but check it out. Google it, Iron Studios Jaws, and I know there's a lot more detail to it.
Yeah, it looks like the Quint's on the deck there too.
Yeah,
man. The investment of development of all this stuff and then actually making it prior to getting any money back is just it blows my mind. To think about the kind of money they put into something like this before they put it out, and obviously they're confident they'll get their money back. So it's
Yep. Little quick one for me was this another Iron Studios, this little Hellboy, sort of chibi, but I kind of like him.
Yeah. He looks pretty cool.
Then what do we have left? We have the Hasbro stuff. Some Star Wars, some vintage collection 3 3/4. I think the first dude is a video game character. Tyler, can you confirm?
Yeah, he's from the Fallen Order.
He's from Yep.
Sorry. I should have shut up there and given Ty a moment. Sorry, Ty. I wasn't sure if you were still here.
Yeah,
he's the main character of one of the recent video games. They're making the sequel right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the Star Wars for you, so you can comment as needed, Tyler, if you see anything. Like vintage. This is also vintage. Well,
can you go back again? What's the other one? It's Luke.
Yeah.
Imperial Light Crew. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Black Series Grogu, but then the rest is vintage. The Boba Fett Starship with an exclusive Boba Fett figure.
It's Slave One. Slave One. I don't know. Come on. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm not over yet. The just word changing of stuff that seems sillier to me than when they do all the other stuff.
It is silly.
I'm personally annoyed by the Grogu re-release.
Yeah.
They already have 5 Grogu figures, and he's getting another one. I think we should be putting time, money, and materials into releasing new characters.
Yep.
Because there's about 500 of them we don't have.
Easy money for them, right?
Yeah.
More Black Series. These are re-releases on the credit collection with a different deco and then a chance to get the Bill Burr head sculpt from Miggs Mayfield without the transport armor and helmet. I think that's why they're doing this.
I have that figure, and the helmet does come off, so you already do have a Bill Burr head sculpt.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Miggs Mayfield is a popular enough character to be making a second mold of them. So
I guess
the line they just released, I'm generally not excited about any of them.
I guess you could say that is the first one you could just use as a generic like troop transport type figure.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this could be your Miggs if you're really into buying every single figure and dioramas and so forth.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely different. I've actually had a few conversations online with people about how they were mad they did the Miggs figure in the transport armor first. But
Right.
That's when he became a likable character. So I think that was my justification.
Yeah.
Because in the first season, he was kind of a jerk. And then
Right.
in the second one, he developed a nice relationship with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So.
And a couple more Star Wars Black Series 6-inch. Who's HK87, Ty?
I do not know.
I don't know either.
That's part of the problem.
Yep.
Who is this guy and why are they releasing him? And we already have 9 Lukes. So.
Yeah,
but
so you get,
money, I guess.
You get him in the 6-inch Black Series and you get him in the 3 3/4-inch vintage collection. And an FX Darth Vader lightsaber if you have an extra $300 laying around. And then jumping over to the Marvel side, Amazing Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack.
I'm on that.
Which comes with Ms. Lion. She's not pictured there. A Harold's 2-pack and a comic, like a retro Spider-Man throwback card, Scorpion.
I wasn't a Miss Lion fan when I originally watched the show, but as I told you, I rewatched the whole series again, and yeah I like Miss Lion a lot better.
And then because the initial Beast Marvel Legends goes for big bucks, they're re-releasing him as sort of like a deluxe figure. It comes with a trench coat, interchangeable heads, and some sciencey stuff. Just to get him back out there, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to pre-order him. You see here on Hasbro Pulse, he's already sold out.
Yeah. Man, it seems like every time I get on Hasbro Pulse, everything's sold out. It's so crazy. Yeah.
And then this Tesseract role play that comes with a Loki figure. If anybody really needs another civilian-looking Loki, I think he's already been released in this way. But if you want a Cosmic Cube to go with them, there you go.
What size of that?
6-inch.
Okay.
The figures, I imagine they're in scale to each other, so it's probably big enough to role play like right in your hand, like it would be from the MCU.
Okay.
So Beast is that popular that he sells out, and the initial run version is really expensive.
Yeah, I never saw that Beast figure. I don't know if it was a problem with that whole X-Men wave or what, but yeah, he's one of the ones I never even saw on the shelves out there.
Like the archive line in Black Series.
Is, but it isn't, because that's a good comparison, I guess, Ty, because they don't come on the same kind of packaging. He'll come on like a retro X-Men throwback card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's basically the same figure with some tweaks. There's more tweaks done to the Marvel re-releases where it seems like the Star Wars is often pretty much the same exact figure, maybe with a slightly different or enhanced paint deco.
Yeah.
But I think the Star Wars definitely is not as drastic of a change as the Marvel 6-inch figures. I think that's it. I think I got them all. Like I said, once I could have a chance to go through everything from San Diego, I might have some stragglers that I want to highlight next week. But that's what I had. I didn't want to go too crazy, but I tried to pick out some cool stuff on your horizon.
You definitely accomplished that. It's awesome. And do you have aspirations of ever going to San Diego Comic-Con?
Not really.
Yeah, my daughter, that's her dream destination. We want to go out there, and she wants to experience that since she still calls Baltimore Comic-Con the best day of her life. So she really wants to do the big one, the original,
Is the San Diego? Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask what's particularly special about that.
Yeah, it's the original. So yeah.
And it seems like this year things have definitely come back to more of a normal. This was really when I'm talking Horizon stuff like toys and collectibles. Everybody would save everything, it used to be for the toy show in New York City, but it eventually started moving more towards San Diego Comic-Con. Everybody released everything and all the information, but when COVID hit, everyone started doing their own online things throughout the year. But I'll give them credit. There's a lot of stuff coming back this year. Not as much as in the past, but it seems to definitely be coming back around.
Back to normal.
Yeah.
To follow up on that Butler toy show, did you go to that?
I did. Yep.
And?
I talked about it a little bit briefly.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
There was a Butler toy show.
Yeah.
If you watch this show,
I need invites to things like that.
I think Kevin even said, Ty should come up to that.
Yeah, I did. Yep. I was like, Tyler, if you're watching, you need to check this out.
I have no idea what was going on at the time, but right now I'm just going to say I definitely would have made it. You should have invited me.
They're going to do another one in January, I believe.
Okay.
But I forget what you said after the fact. What'd you say after you went? Did they do a good job? I forgot.
For a first-time show, I thought it was really well done. It's a small building, Butler Vagabond Center.
Yeah.
It's smallish, but they had a lot of vendors. They had a really good turnout. I didn't buy anything myself, but I thought there was a lot of cool stuff there.
Cool. So there you go, Ty. You missed it. When did you say it's happening again, Pat?
January.
Yep, January.
Already remembered.
I'll go there with you too. That'll be a good reason to get back to Butler. Well, we're all gonna hopefully be in Butler here in a couple months, right?
Yeah.
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
I have a funny story with Butler Vagabond, so I'll just tell it now. It's not geek related at all, but it's funny.
Is it bingo related?
No, it's class reunion related. My mother's. She was like, I think it was like her, 30th class reunion or something like that, and she took me there with her. I was actually going through a heartbreak at the time, so I was just, wanted any reason to get out of the house and forget my woes. And of course, also to add on to that, I have a couple drinks, and it was the first night I ever got drunk with just my mother. She wasn't drinking though; it was just me. And then, man, I was, a ladies' man with all the older ladies there, and I got so sick, and I ended up puking all over the place out in the parking lot. My mom's tending to me, but all these other older ladies were like, it was so funny. It was such a funny experience. If I was there watching, I'm sure I would have been embarrassed. But in hindsight, it's a story we tell all the time. Anytime my mom experiencing me getting drunk and sick, that story pops up immediately, and we all, revisit that. So it was hilarious. It's hilarious, great time. Anyway. All right. Once again,
truck down that road.
Say again.
Didn't you wreck?
Yes, I did. That's
another.
Another non-funny at the time, but funny to look back on story. First time I ever, my stepdad ever let me borrow his truck. He had a really cool jacked up truck, and he had one of those horn keypad things you could enter different musical things, and it was the Dukes of Hazzard horn, on it. So I took it to school, and I was like getting everybody all excited about how cool this truck was. And I actually got twins to ride home, to give them a ride home in this truck. And when I had these twin girls in my truck, sure enough, I took this turn too hard and wrecked, just lost control and smashed it, T-boned it right onto a telephone pole right in front of there. So yeah, it was.
Did the horn go off?
No, but the horn was going off right before, like right as I started to pull my stupid move to make it lose control was the last time I pressed it. So it was like my call to my wreck, It was like
Did Roscoe P. Coltrane show up at the scene?
No. But another not funny part of it, but in hindsight, part of the story is there were a couple old people that did come out of there. I don't know why they were in there, but they came out to kind of check on the scene. And we were all fine, thankfully. It was just the truck that was done. And I was so mad at myself, but these people tried to come out, and with the way they were trying to help us, I can't remember exactly what triggered me, but I just started cursing like a sailor. And they actually tried to keep telling me to stop cursing, which made me curse more. It was like this whole escalation. I was so embarrassed about it afterwards. I went and apologized. I tried to find them and apologize again, but no one was there that was at the scene that day. But yeah, my stepdad didn't let me borrow the truck again. But anyway, to be a child again. All right. So then we'll move into the last one of the day. The geek stuff we got. I don't have anything. Did you get some stuff this week, Pat?
One small thing.
All right, cool. So this is going to be primarily Mike segments. Here we go. We are going. I swear. All right, Mike, you want to go first? You want Pat to go first since he's got less? Wait, you have one focus anyway, too, right?
Yeah, I have two, but one's real quick.
Okay.
What you got? Quick. I'll go. If we go a rotation.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So, quickly, the new Murder by Death album came out. So this was you can only get this if you back the Kickstarter. And the great thing about it is the book up there, and I should have gotten better pictures. Spooky Tales. It's like 2 or 3 pages per song that were illustrated, and the two artists that I recognize, one is Ryan Brown, who he's done some covers that we voted on before, and J.H. Williams III did a few pages in that book. So that was pretty good. I almost didn't get it, but then I thought, holy cow, I collect comics, and this is
that's what I was gonna say. So it's like a comic book for each song, basically.
Yeah, well, they've got a huge discography, but yeah, they each artist picked one song and illustrated a portion of that song with
that's cool.
So that was pretty good. And the second thing I got, which was really, really exciting for me, is the All Famous Police Cases number 12. And this is from 1953. And what I realized after the fact, there's a date stamp on it, which made it doubly cool for me.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I'm going to get this. It's got a pretty bad spine roll to it, so I thought I'd get it pressed and get that fixed. But when I picked this up, it was in a huge bag, like a huge Ziploc bag. And I've got a picture. I don't know if you can see the little flakes on there. That's bits of the book flaking off.
Oh, jeez.
For just how poorly it was handled and me getting it. And, they just had it thrown in this big bag. So the book's really, really brittle. So I don't know if
was it expensive or did you get a good deal?
I got a good deal. I can tell you, I paid $14 for it. So
well, it ain't nothing for a book though. So do you think they'd take better care of it then? Yeah.
So it's I don't know if I should get it. If getting it pressed would be a bad idea. Try to get that spine roll fixed. It's from 1953, or just kind of get it graded as is. Because I'm not looking for. It'd be nice to improve the condition of it, but at what cost? Is it gonna mess the book up?
You're worried if you press it, since it's brittle, it'll make it worse, basically.
Yeah, especially trying to fix that spine roll. It's been like that, for how many years? Trying to get that fixed. I may just leave it as it is.
That's almost like one where you'd like to talk to somebody, a professional, to see what their opinion would be on pressing it.
Or not, yeah.
Yep.
Some moisture type deal there, I think, with it being so brittle.
Right.
Where you could really do some damage, I think.
Yep. So.
All right, good stuff. What you got, Pat?
Me?
Yeah.
Thought we were going clockwise, and Tyler was next.
I just totally assumed Tyler didn't get anything. Tyler, what'd you get?
Yeah,
he tried to show us. Remember?
Pre-game.
I got
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah.
Since my last show 2 weeks ago, I've gotten too much to count. So I'll just show a couple things I'm particularly excited about.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
I just have to say this. It seems like I forget things worse whenever people remind me prior to the show.
Yeah.
Right, like right before.
Yeah.
You might have to make him bigger in the center because he doesn't have pictures.
Yeah, I don't have pictures.
Oh, there's no pictures. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I went crazy. I got a few DC figures. I got a Justice League Batman.
What?
Yeah. And then that what was that guy's name I was talking about? The Ghost Maker?
Yeah, Ghostmaker. Yeah.
But I also got this Batman Beyond that I love. It's pretty
Nice.
sick.
Yeah. I think
It's
we actually
too
have
much for me to grab everything off my wall.
I think we actually have a Batman Beyond that's yours from when you were a kid at Xcellar.
Really?
Yeah. It's a McDonald's grab bag one that came with, Happy Meal or whatever. I'll get it to you.
Okay. And I also finally added more to my symbiote collection. I got Anti-Venom with this cool stand.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then because I got the George Lucas Stormtrooper figure in the retro box, it inspired me to get Han Solo and Luke as well.
I love those.
So now I have all three of them together.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite action figures ever. Yeah.
And I hate that they changed the box so much for Black Series because I think this is the best style they've ever made. And this was from the second line ever. And that was like 2018, I think. I wish they stayed with it, but
That would be a cool set to put together, like outside the box, like having them all hang out together. But if they all have their helmets on, it's just going to look like a bunch of stormtroopers.
right. I've been always taking my figures out of the box, but because I want to keep George Lucas inside his card, that's why I'm going to keep Han and Luke in their box as well.
But I don't know. I just think it would be so cool, but ironically not cool, if you just had them all out of the box, but with all of their helmets on, but beside each other. I'd love to see that, even though you wouldn't be able to tell it's them.
Right.
And don't try to trick me and just get 3 basic stormtroopers. I want to see those 3 actual figures with their helmets on beside each other.
Mm-hmm.
Hook me up.
Maybe.
Why do you care about keeping the Lucas one in the box?
Well, they are already opened. That's the condition I bought them in. But it's just the aesthetic of George being in the box as well. The way I have them displayed together, they wouldn't work if 2 of them were out of the box and just George was in the box.
Well, that's what I was saying. But since they're all open, you could take them out and hook me up with that pick.
Not with George.
Why? If he's already been open, why you care?
No. I bought George sealed.
Oh, that's right. Okay, it's not the old Black Series box. That's okay. Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
But I bought Luke and him used and already opened. He just had the box selling with him, and he put them back in for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I got a good deal on it because they were opened.
All right.
That's all I got.
Okay. Do you have picks or do you need this, Pat? You got picks?
I have a picture. Yeah.
Okay.
Get ready, folks. This is exciting. I have my pickup for the week is a piece of furniture. It's a bookshelf.
That's a nice. Okay, that's one bookshelf.
No, the one out front, the darker one, is a new one because things were just getting so far out of control. I had stuff sitting where the black bookshelf was anyway, so I figured I'd go up. I wanted a shallower one, but this will do for now. It's definitely not as nice. The brown one you see, I have 2 of those back to back, and then this black one's on the front side.
That's what I was going to ask next. Do you have them separated to where it's hollow in between, or okay, gotcha.
Yeah, there's 2 back to back. So yeah, cool. Definitely gets things off the floor. And I realized, doing this, it's what a pain. You talk about moving comics around to sort them around back and forth. Doing hardcovers is not much fun either.
Yeah.
And I still don't know if I have it how exactly I want it. And the bookshelf you can't see, I still need to deal with that one because there's a lot of non-comic related stuff on that one. But I came to the realization that I need more bookshelves.
Yeah, I was just saying that to Jesse and myself with my shed. That's what I need to get, some more bookshelves in there. Yeah. But that's cool. Looks nice. It's nice to be organized and displayed like that. Yep. So, well, like I said, I don't have anything. Sorry about it. That's probably good considering we're running 2.5 now. So, Mike's like, can we? I don't know how long I'm going to last this show.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Extra long.
To go extra long, yeah. All right. So, does anybody else have anything else? I'll move into reminders.
Nope. Just looking forward to Cover Combat.
Me too.
Are you going to participate in that, Ty? I want to see what you got.
Yes.
Okay, actually, let's do this then.
How does cover?
What was that, Ty?
I was hoping I wasn't the only one laughing.
My favorite thing, Kevin, people getting cut off right before the intro.
Right.
So I understand the bracket portion, but how does it work? Do we submit our own portion of the bracket?
Yeah.
TBD. We got to figure it out.
Yeah. You submit your covers that you want to do battle as far as what you think are the best covers. And then we'll put 2 covers up against each other.
Is there a time frame?
Next week. You need to have one for next week.
No, I mean for the comic itself. Is there a
Oh no,
release timeline or no?
no.
Just any
Forever.
comics I have that I want to put up for
You
battle.
don't have to own them.
You don't have to own it either. Just the cover you think is best. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
And I mean, I think we got to sort out how it's all going to work.
yeah. We'll sort out some details. Maybe come with 3 or something like that, and then we can do 3 in one show or something like that. How's that sound?
Because unfortunately, there's about 46,000 awesome covers.
Right. That's the problem.
We're trying to narrow it down to one
Right. Which we will do.
that we
We'll
all
do it.
agree on.
Yeah.
We all agree. Yeah, we'll work on the format and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think we
All
have
right. So we're in the recap now, though. Pat, what do you got?
Again, I kind of always say this is, sort of things we already knew, but we just solidified our knowledge this week that Butler Vagabonds is a cougar hotspot.
Mike?
Man, I failed. I have as many recap ideas as I had books read this week.
That's okay.
I'll
You're
try
ill.
to think.
All right. Then I'll go with, movies like to end on a very slow, drawn out note way too often.
What are you talking about?
He
Oh,
He's not talking about anything. Next.
not talking
Okay.
about anything, Pat.
That's what I thought.
Sorry. Ty, what do you got? Can you remember anything that happened in the show?
They are releasing another Grogu.
They released too many Grogus.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Pat?
Let me see if I got this quote right. Magic is nuts expensive.
Yeah.
Nuts
Yeah.
expensive.
That is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Mike, did you come up with one in that round?
I didn't because I'm enjoying you guys too much.
Okay, I got there are far too many characters that look like Moon Knight.
Mm.
Ty?
Wolverine patch was shockingly a top 3 cover.
Was shockingly a what?
Top 3 cover?
Oh, you thought it was shocking too?
No, I
Wait,
was saying that because of you.
Okay, yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay. Pat?
I'm out.
All right. The last thing I got is podcasts are tough to get off the ground to any popularity. So,
Yeah.
So on that note, that'll conclude the recap, and we'll move into some reminders. Which the first reminder will be that the Fun Fan freebie phrase is no longer get the second word in the podcast, get the third word in the Whatnot show. It is get the second word in the Wednesday Whatnot show and the third word in the Friday Whatnot show. As
What's
usual,
today's word?
is happily. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So next time you're on next week with the cover battle, I'll ask you if you knew last week, so now you at least know one word.
All right.
You've got to remember. Okay? Take the poll, answer the trivia question through the Spotify app, please. Subscribe to, comment on, retweet, follow, like, and or share Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and now TikTok. And then see what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics, as well as XcellarComics.com. Like I said,
I was coming.
what? Is that Tyler?
Any Karen and Constance are here.
Okay. Check out our podcast, but it will no longer be an edited version of this live stream. It will just literally be the live stream that I'll still post no later than Tuesday. Again, check out the Very Variant Show, 2 of them, one on the Very Variant show on Friday. The one on Wednesday is the top 10 covers of the week show. And then, of course, check out next Sunday show at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time again. And there is no You Got a Deal lot, or You Got a Deal, Are You For Real lot this week. That's going to be just on the segment wheel. And when it pops up is when I'll get a new one, right? That's how we're going to do it from now on, right?
Yep.
All right. Tyler, you gone? You got anything else?
I'm here. I don't have anything else.
All right. Anybody else? Pat, Mike? No?
Good to go.
All right. Thank you for checking out the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you again next week. But until then, don't forget that appreciating great art is awesome. And reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.